There's Bitcoin zoomed out on the weekly. This is around 200 some days prior to the 2012 Bitcoin halving. You can see where Bitcoin is, just kind of in that red rectangle. Here's Bitcoin prior to the 2016 halving, entering that red rectangle. Here's Bitcoin 2020 halving, entering this red rectangle. And here we are now. We're entering the red rectangle. This Bitcoin chart zoomed out is the most sound and consistent roadmap. And I say this all the time, this most sound and consistent roadmap that we have for all of crypto. If you could lay out a map and be like, where are we going with this next cycle? I think this is the best map. And this is just me. This is my perspective. And this applies to all crypto. Mainly for me, I use this for my altcoin plays, what I'm doing, how I'm approaching this next cycle. So in this video, I want to go over this a little bit in depth. And I even want to talk about if Bitcoin breaks down and crypto breaks down, what that might look like. Because there's really two likely scenarios in play right now. And one of those scenarios is potentially getting ready to break. And I want to lay that out right now. So hit that subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I really appreciate your support as I grow this YouTube channel. And let's just dive into this video. This is Bitcoin on the weekly once again. And for reference, obviously, you have these red rectangles that I've laid out, kind of giving us just an idea from a visualization mindset. Well, where are we in cycles, right? And this is where we are. Now, what I want to point out, and this has been an ongoing question, not just in my videos, but I think across the space. Are we in a similar move of 2019? Or are we in a similar move of all the way back here? And let me kind of get my chart moved over all the way back here in kind of 2015 into 2016. Well, there's one singular piece of data that I think, especially now, that I'm focusing on, and that is this. If we look back as Bitcoin's in this similar environment, entering this red rectangle in the last cycle, what's very clear that happened? The 20-week moving average basically broke, right? 20-week moving average broke. Bitcoin fell below it. Now, if we open up our momentum oscillators, what I want to open up is the RSI. I want to show you something on this RSI. If you look at from a momentum perspective, because we have that 20-week moving average, and that's where Bitcoin is right now. It's at a 20-week moving average up here, testing it. But if we look at momentum perspective, I want to just show you something. You can see Bitcoin kind of came out of the bear market low and just kind of trended up. It kind of hit overbought, but it's been very sideways, right? You can just see very sideways on the momentum oscillator. If you look at this last cycle, Bitcoin popped out of overbought and just with great velocity, it did that. And then great velocity just fell right back down. And that's what the move breaking this 20-week moving average looked like, down to the 50-week moving average, which is a very notable piece of data that we're going to talk about in just a minute in relation to price targets in one of these scenarios. But if you look at the similarities now of the halving before in 2016, check this out. Bitcoin, what did it do? It exited the low, bear market low, and just trended up again towards the overbought line, and then just kind of just chilled sideways in consolidation. And that's, again, a very more reflective picture of what's kind of happening right now. And that's not to say it's going to repeat, but it does look more similar. Now, what was Bitcoin doing back then? It was very simple. Bitcoin was, for sure, testing the 20-week moving average. You can see this green line. It was testing the 20-week moving average, but it was seeing support at the 20-week moving average, higher highs and higher lows through the entirety of this red rectangle into the Bitcoin halving, into the next bull market. Now, that obviously did not happen last cycle, right? The 20-week moving average failed at support, and very simply, Bitcoin got pulled into the 50-week moving average in blue. This whole event right here, it's just, we have to deal with it on the charts. I hope it doesn't happen again. A black swan event, something like this happens again. But I think the more solid piece of data to use is the very fact that Bitcoin topped out, broke the 20-week, pulled into the 50, and then we were bouncing back up. And it was consolidating, right? Maybe Bitcoin would have went a little higher and maybe pulled back down, allowing for these moving averages to kind of go sideways into the halving. We'll never know. But right now, the question is, will Bitcoin hold the 20-week moving average? Bitcoin is testing it right now. It's around $28,500, like $500 below where Bitcoin is right now. The other piece of data that I'm watching on these charts is, let me minimize the RSI and pull up this smart wave. This is CCV Smart Wave. Chart Prime developed this for me, and I've been using it. And the one thing I'm watching is, if you notice the histogram on the smart wave, it's starting to trend down after hitting overbought. Trending down is fine. It's consolidation. It happens time and time again, right? Look, it happened in the last bull market on its way up. But the histogram stayed green, and that's important moving average data. And so the biggest thing I'm watching is, will it continue to stay green as it even does trend down? You can see in the last cycle, when Bitcoin did break the 20-week moving average and fell to the 50, it hit overbought, and then it started trending into purple. Now, what happened in the cycle before? Well, it hit close to overbought, stayed green, even when trending down. That's what we want to see. Trending down is fine, but stayed green. We want to see staying green, and we want to see staying above the 20-week moving average. So that's what I'm watching for. Now, if it turns purple, I would do nothing less than anticipate a 50-week moving average kind of acting as some type of just magnet for Bitcoin, right? And what does that look like? And it becomes interesting because we have targets to the downside. So 50-week moving average in blue is right around $23,400 or so. We go to this chart. This is kind of a zoomed out daily, but we have a couple of things happening. Rising wedge, right? Target right around $21,000 or $20,000 or so. Don't know if the target would get exactly hit or not, but that's notable because, remember, the 50-week moving average is right around here, right? So this would have Bitcoin falling down to the 50-week moving average, falling below, and then what we'd be waiting for, at least I would be watching for, is if Bitcoin makes a move like that on the zoomed out and we trend down that direction, how quickly does it pop back above the 50? Is there a big wick? Is it a big just capitulation to 20,000 and back up? What does that type of move look like for Bitcoin? But that is an important area. It's that $20,000 to $23,000 area for Bitcoin that I'm watching if this 20-week moving average fails. And so $20,000 to $23,000 is kind of this area I'll be considering for Bitcoin. And again, if you zoom out on this Bitcoin chart, is that really that bad? I don't think it is. And for all of crypto, is it that bad? Well, altcoins, if Bitcoin's making a move like that, let's just look at what a move like that looks like. If Bitcoin's going down even to just the 50-week moving average, it's around a 20% move. Altcoins will probably be performing worse. So maybe 20, 25, 30 plus percent to the downside. This one more move of Bitcoin dominance is absolutely in play if this were to happen, but this could really be marking the end of the crypto winter before we get ready for this next Bitcoin halving and the next Bitcoin cycle. Otherwise, if we see support at the 20-week moving average for Bitcoin, even if it's sideways, and then we start trending up just as we did in this cycle all the way back here in 2015 and 2016, we could see a huge shift in terms of what Bitcoin dominance does, not in a powerful way, against altcoins going to the next Bitcoin halving. So these are just some things I'm considering. I'm watching for the continued support at the 20-week, but it's kind of becoming important on the short term because Bitcoin is there. It's pulled into it once again, as we did back here in April, May, into June. Will it hold is my question. That's what I'm watching right now on the crypto charts, because I want to always be mindful of potential downside, the volatility, but I also want to be mindful of where we are in the macro. And we are getting very close, everybody. Time is running out, I would say, in terms of preparing for the next cycle. And it's happening quick. Like, we're really getting close. So yeah, there's downside in play, but even if there was downside for Bitcoin, it will likely, in my opinion, just be a higher low before we get ready for the next bull cycle. Let me know your thoughts, everybody. What are you thinking about all this? I appreciate your time just watching my videos, but please comment your thoughts. I'd like to know what you think. If you agree, disagree, hit that like button. And again, if you're not a subscriber, please make sure to hit that subscribe as we grow into that next bull cycle. I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.